First category, Best Original Screenplay. The nominees here are Hell or High Water, La La Land, The Lobster, Jerry's Lobster got in, Manchester by the Sea, and 20th Century Women. It's a nice category.
That was a nice surprise.
All right, Tony, what do you think on this category?
I think it's this category. Most of the categories, like the 6 major ones, I'm afraid 5 of them are locks. There's almost no discussion. We can discuss opinions, but they're almost, we know what's going to win. In this category, it seems that it's between Manchester and La La Land, and I think Manchester's going to pull a slight win.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's possibility that La La Land could be, part of a sweep, but I don't think it's going to happen in this particular case. So I'm hoping not, because Manchester is, at least on a writing standpoint, is a much richer piece. So, I mean,
and if Manchester doesn't get anything other than Casey Affleck, this might be its second award.
Right.
The only other one that it may get.
Yeah, I agree. There's a slight possibility.
Well,
I mean, there's just like the infinitesimal possibility that Hell or High Water might make a mark in here. There could be like
I'll give you 100 to 1 against.
Yeah.
See, I think
I wouldn't bet on it.
think if this is a spread the wealth year, then Hell or High Water has a shot. Because there are some years where they really do divvy it up amongst, multiple nominees, where no 1 or 2 nominees are on the board.
Guys, I hate to say it,
but
I'm into gambling, and I know gambling. And Hell or High Water doesn't stand a chance. Not a chance.
Yeah, but don't you think that gamblers lose a lot?
Sure they do.
And there are surprises. Every year there's a surprise that you say, oh, man, well, no one saw that coming.
Well, you both, all 3 of you can bet at the Macklin Casino. I'll book on any of these that you want.
Well, I'm going with Manchester as well.
I think that's a safe bet.
And if there is a surprise, I don't think it'll be in this category. Okay, next category, adapted screenplay. Nominees are Arrival, Fences, Hidden Figures, Lion, and Moonlight. Jerry, what do you say here?
I'm going to go with Moonlight.
Yeah, that's the one I'm going with as well.
But I would like to say, I think, even though I'm not the big, I like Moonlight, but it's not like I'm not over the moon, no pun intended there about it. I just think it's the strongest one, but I think all of these films in their own way are very strong. I would say there's a dark horse in this category, and that would be Arrival.
I would, as the dark horse, I would go with Hidden Figures. Just because if it doesn't, I think this is the category it has the best shot at winning. And if they want to reward this movie, this might be the place. But
maybe in Trump world, I'm being authoritative, but nobody has a chance of beating Moonlight. I think Moonlight would beat La La Land and Manchester by the Sea.
Oh yeah,
if it were in that category, I think Moonlight would get the vote, the Oscar for the best screenplay of the year if they were both combined. So I don't see any competition for Moonlight in this.
Which
this
for
category.
me, if I could just say, reiterate my problems with Moonlight. Why do we have to have a main character that can't speak? That can't speak up for themselves? Because there's been a lot of gay people, black, white, green, red, that have come up through bullying times and haven't had their entire limbic system shut down by it.
Are you bigoted against gay people? Against green people?
Wait a second. I have a
people. You said it was green people.
I'm just saying that I don't understand the screenwriter's intention of having a character throughout his entire life, our main character, be someone who cannot speak up and express themselves.
I think that's one of the problems.
That to me is not the hallmark of great screenwriting.
But as critics,
for me,
I think that's one of the problems.
That was the whole point of that character. For me, that was it.
Yeah, but he can't speak. So now, when he's 25, he's this great criminal mastermind, and he still can't speak for himself.
I think
he's out running the same kind of business that his father figure ran when he comes out of prison.
Because that's the life from which he came. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when it comes to what the film's about, exactly the fact that he can't come to terms with who he is, that limits his expression of that.
I just have a problem with it on a dramatic level.
Jamie,
I think the best moments in movies, especially from performers, are the moments where they don't speak, and screenplays are more than dialogue.
Well, this one has a lot of those.
Yeah. I mean,
I think that Moonlight probably will win. But here's another question: Fences, the most famous writer,
right?
The one of most consequence is it could be a posthumous award for him.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
Any shot?
Aspect? Nah. No.
I don't know. I mean, that's a good point too, because I was thinking that too. But wait, what? I thought I didn't have a problem with Moonlight. The character shuts down and doesn't speak. I mean, some of the great. Let's not remember we have a Best Actress one for not saying a damn word in the movie. Holly Hunter.
But that doesn't count. You brought that up again.
Yeah, I bring it up
a deaf mute person doesn't count as someone that I'm going to hold something like this against. Just like that doesn't even enter into it.
I mean, but
this person was not deaf and was not mute.
All right, okay. I mean, what about Tilda Swinton in The Bigger Splash? Are we going to hold that against her that she has laryngitis?
Okay, let's get off of this.
Can I make one? I've tried to make this point several times. Just very, very quickly. Just because a picture is how we wouldn't make it, does not mean that it's not valid from its own point of view. That's one of the biggest problems reviewers have. They view it from their own terms, and they do not also. You can review it from your own terms, but they don't also see it, the validity and the creativity from somebody else's point of view. And this is a perfect example.
Well, obviously, most critics agree that the movie is fantastic, and I'm just one person that's trying to out here saying, let me just say this. So, as the one outlier, I have to speak up.
Visual effects. The nominees are Deepwater Horizon, Doctor Strange, The Jungle Book, Kubo and the Two Strings, which is interesting. It got an animation and a visual effects, which was unusual. And Rogue One. Dean, what do you think here?
Well, I think it should go to The Jungle Book. This is an interesting category, by the way, because this is the only category, I think, that doesn't have any Best Picture nominees in it. So I think that's unusual. I was watching Deepwater Horizon the other day. Not bad. Not a bad movie, actually. In terms of but in terms of visual effects, it's really masterful. All of that had to be recreated, the rig and everything. And I hear that Deepwater Horizon also had the most, when they were doing the bake-off, they show the reels of the visual effects to the members of the visual effects board, and apparently Deepwater Horizon had the biggest wow factor to it. So I think that's interesting. But for me, I would go with Jungle Book simply because it was the entire movie is visual effects. So I mean, it doesn't just have the most visual effects; it has the best visual effects, the ones that just totally convince you of their reality. But I would throw in Deepwater Horizon as possible upset.
That's a good choice too, but I'd have to go with the Jungle Book hands down. Just hands down for that category.
Okay, Tony, do you agree? Or?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Jungle Book.
Then I'll go with the Jungle Book as well. I've only seen one of these 5 movies, and personally, I'm not that impressed with the Rogue One Princess Leia effect. But
I think that movie's going to be, in years to come, they'll be debating whether that was a good particular scene and also the other stuff was a good idea or not. I think that's going to be, it's an experimental film in that regard. I don't know how
it is probably a watershed. The fact that they resurrected the dead. Okay, here's a category where we have a Michael Bay film that's nominated. You know what I was thinking? You know how Woody Allen has directed the most women to acting nominations? I bet Michael Bay will have directed the most sound nominations in history by the end of his career.
Every year.
Okay, sound mixing nominees: Arrival, Hacksaw Ridge, La La Land, Rogue One, and 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. Okay, I'll go first on this one. I guess I'll go with the evening's favorite, La La Land. But let me say, right after I saw Hacksaw Ridge, I thought, man, they really need to nominate that for sound mixing. That was my first thought walking out of that, because the sound in that really is, you really do feel like you're in the middle of warfare, and you can feel the speed of the bullets whizzing by you, and it's a beautiful mix.
Jamie, I think what's going to happen is Hacksaw Ridge will get the sound editing award. La La Land will get the sound mixing award,
right?
And Hacksaw Ridge will get the editing award, sound editing.
Right.
Oh, you think they'll split it? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree that with mixing, the category we're looking at now, I think that La La Land's going to get it. It happens often with musicals, and we'll talk about the other. I was going to bring up sound editing, but we'll bring that up in a minute. But I'm going with La La Land.
And Jerry, you go with La La Land?
No, I'm going to go with Hacksaw Ridge for both. I mean, that's what I've always liked. I know, and I lose this some years, but I just think the sound in Hacksaw Ridge is really, I mean, it's just the cut from peacetime, from this, when the training to the actual war is so abrupt, and the sound is so pertinent in the second half of the movie. It's like you said, Jamie, like the sound effects and everything. The sound is such a key part of that movie, and it's the thing that I remember the most, actually. And I do like Hacksaw Ridge quite a bit, but the sound is a very important part for me, at least. So I'm going to go with Hacksaw Ridge. But I do see La La Land probably will get it, but I'm going to go with Hacksaw.
Okay, so you're going with a Hacksaw for sound editing as well. The other nominees on sound editing are Arrival, Deepwater Horizon, La La Land, and Sully. Sully got in there. So, Tony, this is the one that you think Hacksaw is going to get? Sound editing?
I think La La Land is a lock in the sound mixing, and I think Hacksaw Ridge will just barely beat out La La Land in sound editing.
Okay. Dean, did you concur?
I guess I'll. It's not going to be La La Land on this go round. This nomination is kind of roundly getting kind of laughed at, and in fact, in the in the Sound Guild its own awards. La La Land wasn't even nominated in this area.
I guess they didn't hear them.
Yeah, Rogue One replaced it actually. Hacksaw Ridge is honestly, it's a movie I still haven't seen because I feel like it's going to be like homework, and I'm dreading seeing all those goofy characters. There's one named Tex, and there's one named Hollywood, and there's there's all those cornball characters. Ugh. But I'll go along with Hacksaw Ridge because it's a Best Picture nominee, and it's a war film. So, but I will say that Deepwater Horizon had some interesting sound stuff in it too. I mean, some surprising stuff in it.
Yeah.
And so did Sully.
You liked it. I'm happy to hear you liked it as much as you did, because I thought it was well done. I mean, I thought it was a well done movie, but I'm just really happy to hear you liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it just on the basis of a movie like showing how something happened.
Right.
I thought that was good, like as a procedural.
Right.
And I try and keep out any kind of political stuff that might be sneaking
Easier
in.
said than done.
Yes. As a procedural, I thought it worked.
And for Sully, you cannot imagine the number of birds they went through to get that sound right. So that's an accomplishment. They killed a lot of birds.
Sully was amazing, by the way, in the theaters with the sound. I thought that was quite an achievement.
Short film, live action. Do we want to do this one?
I don't think there's any real point in doing these because, honestly, I have not investigated them, and I really don't have. I'm going to need to look at them to really be able to even feel good about a guess.
I get emails from publicists that say, "Will you let this person come on your show?" and blah blah blah. The only emails I've received in this category are for the movies Sing and Timecode, so I know that they're pushing them. So I get an indication of how they're trying to generate more media and more buzz on them. That being said, I wouldn't have any idea. I mean, I haven't seen any of these.
I wouldn't either.
I think it's interesting, by the way. Does everybody remember Kim Magnuson as a actress that, she was an actress that kind of made a splash in the early 80s, mid-80s, I guess, just in a few movies here and there. I think she's in Making Mr. Right, or maybe she wrote it or something like that, the Susan Seidelman movie. Anyway, she's one of the nominees this year for Silent Nights.
Ann Magnuson?
Yeah.
Oh, she is. No, she's superb. She's on Facebook a lot. So, I mean, no, she's great. I didn't realize that. Which film is hers? Which one?
Silent Nights.
That would be awesome to see her win for that. I mean, I would have given it to her for Making Mr. Right, but that's just me.
So short film animated. Let's just run it through just for the to do it. Blind Vaisha, Borrowed Time, Pear Cider and Cigarettes, Pearl, and Piper.
Well, Piper should win. It's cute. It's about a hatchling that's afraid of the water, afraid of the waves.
Mm.
And the other one, the Blind Vaisha, is it's not as graphically distinctive. It's an interesting concept. The left eye sees the past, the right eye sees the future, and the present is a blind spot on it.
Mm.
But I think Piper kind of has the quality.
And Piper is probably the most widely seen one too, because
Yes.
it was connected onto one of the Disney movies or something.
Right.
So,
Pearl though is Patrick Osborne though did Feast and Big Hero 6, so he's won for Feast. He could there's not a law that says he can't win again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I wouldn't rule that out. I mean, I just wouldn't.
That's about the recording of the last Janis Joplin album, right? I made it animated for kids.
Kids.
For kids.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm going with Piper too on this. I mean, with what little I know about the category.
I'll go with Piper as well.
I'll go with Piper too.
Production design. The nominees are Arrival, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Hail Caesar. Hail Caesar got a nomination. La La Land and Passengers, which received a couple. The much derided Passengers.
Yes.
So this is production design. What do you think, Tony?
La La Land lock. We don't even have to talk about the other ones.
Yeah, I agree with that. It'll be part of, and it's a beautiful looking movie. I mean,
yeah, it is beautiful. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Okay, I'll go with La La Land as well. You guys watch Passengers? Did you guys all see that?
I saw Passengers. It proved my theory. Every movie has an homage to Kubrick at some point in it, especially bad movies. And that one does. You know what scene I'm talking about? The scene at the bar.
Oh yeah.
The Shining. Just
yeah.
I mean, I burst out laughing in the theater. I was just like, "You've got to be kidding me!"
It's like it's a scene from The Shining and a big old 2001 homage. It's very strange.
I mean, dude, it's just I like the movie better when it was called Event Horizon or Pandorum.
I thought the movie was pretty good, and then they tacked on that BS Hollywood ending. I was like, oh gosh, that just blew it for me. This movie could have really been memorable if it would have ended differently. People would have been talking about it years from now.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's production design. The next category that the Oscars website gives us is Best Picture, but we'll hold off on that. Let's go to music, Best Original Song. And Jerry is going to sing each of the nominees for it. Go ahead, Jerry.
I have the soundtrack to La La Land. I don't know the song from Trolls. Got a nomination, so I guess we can say Oscar. Okay, yeah.
Okay. The nominees are Audition, The Fools Who Dream from La La Land, the closing song. Can't Stop the Feeling, the Justin Timberlake tune from Trolls. City of Stars from La La Land. The Empty Chair from Jim, the James Foley story, which is co-written by Sting. I guess that's how it got nominated. And then How Far I'll Go from Lin-Manuel Miranda, which he's like, that. If he wins this will make him an EGOT, right?
That's right.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
Okay, Dean, what do we think?
Oh, City of Stars, definitely. By the way, The Empty Chair, yes, it's co-written by Sting, but it's also written by Jay Ralph, who's been nominated in this category for the past 2 or 3 years, I think. He always does songs for documentaries, and they've all made it in. He did that Chasing Ice song that Scarlett Johansson sang, and he did one last year as well. So, but this year, definitely City of Stars. That's the one.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Well, I think it Don't Worry Me will win.
If only.
That's the 40-year-old. We're now reaching the 40-year anniversary of Nashville, and that was the song at the end, written by Keith Carradine, that Barbara Harris sang, and so that's my pick.
Okay.
That whole slate back in that year should have been songs from Nashville. Not just I'm Easy. It should have been My Idaho Home and It Don't Worry Me and
well, It Don't Worry Me is such a crucial. It's at the end. I mean, it's his. There's been an assassination, and Barbara Harris gets the mic and starts singing, and the crowd, and it's making the point that it really probably is more about today's society than La La Land ever is. La La Land is escapist. This is an attempt to escape, but we can't get out of the trap.
Right.
So Nashville, I've seen it again recently, and some of it really holds up, and it's almost good that Altman isn't here to suffer through what he would be suffering through.
Yeah, I completely agree on all points.
Are all of these take wagers now? Are all of these nominees going to be performed?
I would assume so. You think they're not going to? Are you asking? Are you like they did a couple of? Didn't they do this last year where they skipped one of them or something? Like they said, we won't even perform that one. That's another question entirely. Right? Yeah.
Jamie, are we into the who cares category?
Yeah, I mean.
Well, I kind of do because.
I knew you do.
They put all of these musical performances in the Oscars, and yet they won't perform all the ones that are actually nominated. They'll do like extra stuff that has nothing to do with anything, but they won't perform. I think it's in bad taste.
It is. And you might as well say, "Oh man, they never had a chance." It's like the actual Oscar committee saying, "You never had a chance. Like we're not even going to bother." So, but they won't pass up being able to do the La La Land songs.
Of course.
And Justin Timberlake, I assume he'll come out.
Yeah. If they get him in there, then they'll definitely do that. Okay. That'll be this year's Pharrell. The Justin Timberlake number. Best Original Score. The nominees are Jackie, starring John Hurt, who just passed. By the way, John Hurt, he's got another movie. He's in the Gary Oldman Winston Churchill movie that comes out later this year.
He plays Neville Chamberlain, right? So
okay.
He's got a few movies on the slate, just to let you know.
Yes, he does. You're right.
La La Land, Lion, Moonlight, Passengers. It's got to be La La Land, right? But Jackie is a great.
Oh,
score.
Jackie's a
almost like the score more than the
Well,
film.
let me ask Dean a question. I think La La Land. I think we probably all agree on La La Land. Dean, what was your reaction to the score in Moonlight?
Actually, it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I mean, it's funny, like when I was watching it, it didn't the first time it didn't make an impression on me, but the second time it became more important, I think it's one of the one of the nominations that I think that it got that it totally deserves. So good. But I'm totally on board with La La Land winning, and I'm real happy to see that Jackie got in there. To see that Mika Levy finally got recognized on only her second film, but it's good that they let her into the club. Actually, maybe one of the only women nominated in this category ever. So I think that's interesting. And Thomas Newman getting in there for the 14th time that he's not going to win.
No, he's not. I don't remember the music from Passengers. I don't remember it at all.
Makeup and hairstyling. The nominees are A Man Called Love.
No, it's Uva.
A Man Called Uva. Uva.
Oh, I'm sorry. Uva, A Man Called Uva. Star Trek Beyond, and the Academy Award-nominated Suicide Squad.
There were a lot of better films you could have put in this category. If you're going, I just didn't. Or what are we? Or Suicide Squad? Are we just going basically? I mean, for Margot Robbie or for everyone else? I mean,
Well, I mean, there's not just. I mean, there is. To give Suicide Squad its due. I mean, their concept of the Joker was quite unique.
Let me be honest with you. I think if we're going on that, I agree with you. It might. You know what? Don't laugh. It might get it. There's a very good chance that may be the winner. Star Trek Beyond. I mean, I know the girl who was the alien who was the main character in the film. I guess that was a chore to put that on. I honestly don't know. There are a lot of other films that I could have put in this category. I mean, Fantastic Beasts would be a natural. A couple of other special effects movies like that. But I could definitely see putting Fantastic Beasts in that category. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that's not in there. And Florence Foster Jenkins would be a perfect film for that category.
Yeah, I mean, I would have, maybe even thrown in Silence or something like that.
Oh, yeah, no. Dean, that's a great choice. I would have thrown that in for production design. But
okay, I'm going with Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I'm going with that too. But and by the way, A Man Called Uva, I watched that entire movie and I couldn't find any evidence of any makeup work in it. And I was like, okay, so maybe they just aged the guy. So I looked at a picture of the guy who plays the lead, and he looks the same except he has white hair in it. So it's like it doesn't look like they put any aging makeup on him at all. So I watched the entire movie trying to determine where the makeup was, and I couldn't see it. So I guess on that basis, it's good. I don't know, but it didn't look like that they did anything. So that's a mystery to me. I'm going with Suicide Squad as well. So, but Star Trek did win. The first Star Trek movie did win this award a few years ago. So, the first new
right,
reboot.
the first of the reboots. Okay, you're right. You're absolutely right about that.
Okay,
Tony, what do you think?
Star Trek, I think, is going to win.
Okay.
Star Trek.
Okay. Well, and he's the nominee, Joel Harlow, who's been on our show. He was on our show for the other Star Trek that he won for.
Mm.
Whatever that means. Foreign language film. From Denmark, Land of Mine. From Sweden, A Man Called Uve. Did I get it right, Dean?
It's Uva.
Oh, Uva.
Uva.
Okay. From Iran, The Salesman, and there's our first Oscar controversy of the season with The Salesman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because that filmmaker from Iran, he said even if the ban is lifted and I'm allowed to travel, I will not in protest. Okay, Australia, Tana, and from Germany, Tony Erdman. Now, the most out of all of these, the one that appears on the most end of the year best of lists is Tony Erdman.
Mm-hmm.
So based on name recognition, that might have a great shot. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I think
Tony Erdman
name recognition. I liked it. I saw it yesterday, but I think The Salesman has a really good shot after this weekend. I really do. I'm not being facetious. I'm not being my usual.
No, I got you.
I mean, it's I really think after what Dean just said to this, this director said. I mean, this is the year to make a statement. And they will do it wherever they can. And I don't blame it, and rightfully, and as they should. I mean, I'm all for that. So I think this is between Tony Erdman and The Salesman. Now, I've heard good things about Land of Mine. I've heard a lot of good things. I haven't seen it, but I hate this category because usually at this time we haven't seen a lot of these films yet. They haven't made their way into.
You make a terrific point about. I was wondering where are they going to make their statement, and I thought, well, they might give the award to Meryl Streep because of her statement. No, they can't give it to her.
They can't do that.
You're saying this, The Salesman. absolutely fits the politics and the culture and this social at the time. I mean, that's a really good point that you made.
Yeah, I mean, I just see it.
Well, here's the thing about Tony Erdman. Let me just say this. Tony Erdman is, I think, a really, really fine movie. I like it a lot. I don't really understand what it's doing at the top of the Sight and Sound list because...
Wait, it's on the top of the Sight and Sound list?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's number one.
Oh, my God. Okay. Holy smokes. Okay.
I mean, like, to me, it's like... it's sort of like a 3-hour Mike Leigh movie in a way. I appreciate it, but I don't think a lot of people are going to be able to stick with it. A Man Called Uva is easily the biggest hit of all 5 of these movies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the one that's gotten the most eyes on it. But I think I'm going to go with The Salesman. Not only because of the controversy factor, but also I think he's a filmmaker that does incredible work, and he's already won in this category before. But I think that this is just the time for this to be said. I don't think that a win for Tony Erdman would mean anything to anybody. Except for the people who made Tony Erdman.
This is going to be the political moment of the night. I have a feeling.
Yeah. I
film
think
editing.
You're absolutely right.
Film editing nominees are Arrival, Hacksaw Ridge, Hell or High Water, La La Land, and Moonlight. Now, here's the point. Here's my point with film editing. There were so many great examples of editing a film from this past year. A lot of ambition when it came to playing with time. Jackie is one example. Nocturnal Animals is another example.
Especially that one.
Editing endeavors, yeah. So I think that there are some major snubs in this category.
Well, you named two really big snubs there.
And also, why can't a documentary be nominated again? Why shouldn't O.J. Made in America be nominated in this category? They certainly had to go through a shit ton of stuff to make that thing. So I don't see why that's not in here. But I definitely agree about Nocturnal Animals. I thought that the editing was some of the best. And by the way, the score to Nocturnal Animals deserved to be in the running for best original score as well.
Absolutely.
But we all know it's going to be La La Land, and why not? I mean, Tom Cross, who of course won a couple of years ago for Chazelle's Whiplash, is really turning out to be one of the great editors of this era. And I saw it immediately when I watched Whiplash. I was like, oh my God, the editing in this is unbelievable, how good this is. And I feel the same way about La La Land as well. So,
okay, I'll go with La La Land. Tony, what about you? What say you?
Yeah, I think La La Land gets a sweep of so many of them: production design, editing, cinematography, and that's I can't see anybody beating on editing. La La Land.